Hello, everyone. I am so pleased to be with you. Welcome to Virtual Burning Man. How are you feeling today? If you're live with us, put in the chat where you're logging in from. I see so many of you here already in France, in Ireland, in Oregon, Colorado, Portland. Wow. Ecuador, people from all over the world, San Francisco, Austin, Texas is where I am. Thank you for taking a moment of your precious time and learning how to survive the apocalypse and hold on to your happy. Today we're going to be learning EFT. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. I've been leading this at Burning Man for about 11 years. And I'm so happy to continue here with you. We are going to be learning how to rapidly process fears and feelings and issues that come up and steal our joy. So in order to prepare for this session, I'd like you to think about something that is making you unhappy, something that is stealing your attention, your energy, your focus, something that triggers you every time you think about it and is really detracting from your life right now. Now remember, you're going to be able to do this tap again and again, so you could use it on multiple subjects. But think about something right now that would make a big difference if we could wave a magic wand and disappear your reaction to that circumstance so that you have energy and focus, peace and clarity, so that we can hold on to our hearts and help redesign our lives and activate our purpose and do what we came to this world to do. You see, people make the planet. And although we might be reactive when we're afraid, it might make us angry and take action, that energy is unsustainable over a long period of time. What we need to go the distance is feeling happy, connected to ourselves, hearts open, power up, aligned and clear. So as things keep unfolding in this wild, wicked world, we're going to keep processing at the speed of thought so that we can stay on time, on schedule, and connected to why we are here, the essence of our own true purpose. Are you ready? Let's burn. This is stress in our bodies, coursing through our bodies, stealing our energy. It moves through the body electrically as electric impulses that comes from our thoughts, it comes from our perception of reality. These little highways in our body are called meridians. These meridians send the electrical current through the body, and what we're going to be doing today with EFT is tapping on the meridian points like an acupuncturist would stick a needle there, allowing the electricity to flow. Let's take a look at these meridians.
Pain was in every part of my body.
This is my teacher, Gary Craig, who taught me EFT and changed my life.
I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. They cannot find any traces that it ever existed in my body.
I had over 80 allergies and I was allergic to the world, basically. I am not allergic to anything. I can eat anything I want to.
Shame issues, diabetes, post-traumatic stress disorder.
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's an emotional version of acupuncture, except we don't use needles. Instead, we address emotional issues. The emotional contributor to disease and ailments and physical things is far greater than the emphasis that's been given to it to date. All of us know intuitively that if we're carrying around angers and griefs and guilts and traumas, it shows up physically. If somebody is really angry, Their stomach is tight. Maybe the veins down out on their neck. Their blood pressure goes up. Emotions cause physical things. Well, you keep that body a long period of time, now you're looking at diseases.
You know, in my own case, I got tired of giving medications which would just treat the symptoms and didn't really address what I thought was the underlying problem.
EFT, on the other hand, zeroes right in on it, and I think that's why we get results where nothing else will.
It's possible to clear emotional issues at a deep enough level that physical healing results.
Acupuncture relies on the fact that there are subtle energies that run throughout the body called meridians. If they're not flowing well, the body's health does not do well. And what I found was something just very stunning. If we stimulate these meridians, tapping on them with our fingertips, it tends to balance things out, and people that would have an intense emotional issue, it would just fade. Sometimes it would happen in minutes. Once you start taking care of these emotional issues and doing it correctly and really resolving them, physical things start to subside as well.
Cool, right? So these are the meridians in action, moving through the body. And you'll see here that each one is connected to something different. This one from your index finger goes into a side of your teeth, your stomach, your intestines. This one from under the eye, all the way down to parts of your spine, your fallopian tubes and ovaries, knee, and ends up in the second toe. So these electrical currents not only send pulses of electricity to your cells, but connect like wiring through a house to every organ, gland, and system in your body. I love this one. It's a heart point from the little finger into the neck, into the teeth, into the heart, into the bladder. So if you're pissed off about something that's happening into your heart, it might be affecting your teeth and your bladder. Pissed off, get it? Your body's pretty literal that way. So let's take a second and just watch this cool animation. We're going to be using all of these meridian points, accessing them from the upper half of the body. And as you get the electrical current to flow, where you blew a fuse because you got overwhelmed or shocked or scared or traumatized, the electricity comes back on, the lights come back on in that part of your body, meaning that you feel better, you flow better, your body has the energy to take in nutrition, take it into your cells, divide those cells, and heal what's happening physically. Now, in EFT, we talk to ourselves. So as we're tapping, we're talking to ourselves because your brain is programming itself. Not only does your brain listen to what's going on outside in the world, but it listens to what's coming out of your mouth. So what you're saying to yourself is actually opening up the files in your brain where this old information is stored. That old information that's replicated over and over through habit or through tradition or through circumstances becomes wired together. Let's take a deeper look inside your brain. This is a synapse connecting to another synapse. That electricity is a thought jumping across, an electrical impulse, the same electricity that we saw going through the meridians. Now these wire together if they fire together long enough. Repeating a certain idea, a certain phrase, a certain belief, a certain feeling, or a certain experience will literally tie together and wire together with protein bonds, these neural networks. So you're not always having to make a connection. It's called learning. And we can learn, but we can also unlearn things that are no longer helpful to us, even if they were helpful early on in our lives, helping us to survive. Now, when you have a strong emotion, whether it's joy or fear, anger or sorrow, shock or wonder, that creates a very strong protein bond. We want to leave the ones intact that bring us joy and wonder and pleasure, like going to Burning Man, and dissolve the protein bonds around fear, trauma, and emotional pain. All right, step into my galactic activation portal and let's begin tapping. This is where we're going to do the program dissolution, releasing these neural networks. And as we tap, you're going to feel some interesting semi-psychedelic feelings in your body as these protein bonds dissolve. So I'm going to show you how to tap and call out the points to you. You're going to use your fingers to access and tap on these little places on the upper body. And I'm going to use my consciousness to help guide your consciousness to find the data inside your brain and to release the stored memory that's accumulated there so you can have a different experience of reality. Now, what happens when you have a different experience of reality? You feel differently. You may behave differently. You may make different choices. You might feel more empowered, more connected to your goals, more connected to your passion, more connected to your heart, more connected to the people around you. And that ripples out, you see. That changes the lives. That changes the vision for so many others. And when that happens, we all shift. We all feel that change. Are you ready? Find your collarbones. Drop down to the front of your ribs, the front of your chest. Take a big deep breath, massaging the front of your chest. And tuning in to one issue that is making you feel unhappy right now in your life. And I want you to rate that issue from 0 to 10. How intense is that issue for you if you were to guess? If you were to really let yourself feel it, how intense do you think it would be? From 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Okay, remember that number. We'll come back at the end and see if anything's changed. So focusing on that issue. When I say this issue, you're going to fill in the blank out loud. Remember, you're going to speak out loud about this as we tap. Repeating after me and remembering that you can change what I'm saying to more accurately fit your own situation. Big deep breath, massaging your chest. Even though I have this issue, now state your issue. And it's making me unhappy. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Tapping the eyebrows, this issue. Right here at the beginning of the eyebrows. Slide down the eyebrows to the temple. This issue, big deep breath. Tapping the front of the cheeks. Even though I have an issue with, and say again what it is that's bothering you. Where do you feel that tension in your body and that displeasure? Tapping under the nose. Focus on that feeling for a second as we tap. Even though I feel this in my body, tapping under the lips, I'm open to deeply and completely loving myself. Tapping the chest. This issue in my body. I feel this in the form of, and then say what emotion you feel. Is it fear? Is it rage? Is it grief or loss? Maybe it's judgment or criticism. Let's say it again. I feel this issue as, and then say what feelings are there for you. Tapping down to the front of the ribs, bottom of the rib cage, front of the body, right on the last couple of ribs. These feelings of, and then say what that feeling is for you. Tapping the side of the ribs. Now you can tap crossing your arms like this on the side seam of the body. If you were wearing a bra, it's where your bra strap would go across. Under the arms. Big deep breath. These feelings, say those feelings again, and you can also tap with the back of your knuckles in the same place. Say those same feelings again. Tuning into those feelings as you tap. Tapping the inside of the wrist. I'm open to loving and accepting myself as I release this energy from my body. Big deep breath, tuning in again. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm so used to feeling this way. Tap the index finger. How long have you been feeling like this about this topic? Tapping the middle finger. I give myself permission to release the anxiety, the fear, the grief, and rage. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. Big deep breath. It's okay for me to feel this way. It's perfectly natural. Tap the little finger. I don't have to stop feeling this way. Tap the side of the hand. I can hold on to these feelings, this pain inside me, for as long as it works beautifully. Big deep breath. Tuning into that part of you that wants to hold on to these feelings either out of habit or out of some form of justice or need to prove something or teach someone a lesson. Tapping the top of the head. It's safe for me to release this stress. Big deep breath. Tapping all over the top of the head, the sides of the head, and the back of the skull. Tapping the eyebrows. I give myself permission. Tap the temples to get my energy back. Tapping the front of the cheeks. Even if I've been feeling this way for so long. Tapping under the nose, tuning in again. When did this issue start for you? Tapping under the lips, really ask yourself, how old was I when I started to feel this way? Tapping the chest. I'm open to loving and releasing this stress, even if it started so long ago. Big deep breath, sending some compassion to all the time and energy that this issue has taken up in your life. How much time have you spent feeling sad or depressed or afraid? And just let yourself grieve for a second. This lost time, how it made you feel dysfunctional or reactive. And breathe. Tapping down to the front of the ribs, I give myself permission to release any shame or guilt or embarrassment. Tap the side of the ribs that I'm carrying about this issue. And what a loss it's been to feel so stressed and tired. Tapping the inside of the wrist. Let's go to the opposite wrist. I give myself permission to release this from my body now. Tap the side of the thumb. Even though I've held on to it for, and then ask yourself, why have you held on to this? Is it to make sure that you know or someone else knows not to do this again? Tap the index finger. Maybe it's someone in your family suffering the same type of experience This is just what we do. We're used to this in my family. It's tradition. Tap the middle of the finger. I give myself permission to release any need to hold on to this pain, this anxiety and stress. Big deep breath, tuning into this issue again. What are we talking about here? Tapping the bottom of the fourth finger, say it out loud. I'm tapping on, and say your issue. Tuning into that feeling in your body when you speak of it. Tapping your little finger. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even if I feel stressed. Tapping the side of the hand. Irritated. Frustrated, tired. Say what feelings are there for you. Tapping the top of the head. It's safe for me to release and dissolve, to burn through this old habit of holding on. Tapping the eyebrows. I need my energy back now. Tapping the temples and breathing. Tapping the front of the cheeks. I give myself permission to release this belief. What belief is tied up with this? Say it out loud. This limiting belief connected to this issue. Maybe it's that I'm not good enough, or that I don't have what it takes, or I don't deserve, or justice will never be served unless I stay sad or angry or upset. Tapping under the nose, say this limiting belief again. Part of me believes. Tapping under the lips, let's say that one more time. A part of me has been believing, and then say that negative belief again. Tapping down to the front of the chest. I'm open to loving and accepting myself, even though I feel this way. Tap the front of the ribs. Where did you pick up this idea? How old were you? Who taught you this? Ask yourself, when did I start feeling this way? Tap the side of the ribs. When did I start believing that that was true? Big deep breath. You see, every time we ask ourselves these questions, it Googles that information within. You're finding the folder and the subfolder in your brain, and it's opening it up on the desktop of your mind. In order to edit a file, we have to read the file exactly as it is. Tap the inside of the wrist. So let's just accept for now that you've had this belief, that it started back then, and it's connected to who? Say it out loud. I have this idea. Say the limiting belief. Tap the side of the thumb. That started back when? Say when it started. Tapping the index finger. And it's connected to who? Who taught you this? Big noisy breath. Make some sound. Tap the middle finger. I give myself permission to release this neural network and everything connected to this fear and pain. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger to this judgment and stress. I'm taking my happy back. Tap the little finger. I'm taking my happy back. Tap the side of the hand. I need my energy now, even if that changes everything. Tapping the top of the head. It's safe for me to forgive myself for not knowing how to deal with this. Tap the eyebrows, just tuning into any helplessness or hopelessness. Tapping the temples. I'm open to loving and trusting myself. Tapping the cheeks. I trust myself. Tapping under the nose to be able to move through this, to be inspired and guided. Tapping under the lips. I release the need to slow myself down by staying anxious or overwhelmed. Tapping the chest. I forgive myself for distracting myself. So tune into all the ways that you've distracted yourself from being able to take care of this response or take action to come back to life. In other words, what have you done to numb yourself? Drinking, smoking, interneting, engaging in dramatic situations over and over, distracting yourself from your own life, your own needs. Big deep breath. Tapping the front of the ribs, I give myself permission to release this habit of numbing and distracting myself from this pain. Tap the side of the ribs. I'm learning a new way to process my emotions. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm learning a new way to process my feelings and fears. And breathe. Tapping the side of the thumb. It's safe for me to do this, to heal what's been happening. Tapping the index finger and breathing. I give myself permission to take back my life force. Tap the middle finger. Even if this situation has no foreseeable resolution, big deep breath, tuning into that part of you that says, I can't be happy until I know how it's going to go. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I give myself permission to release the need to know how it's going to go. Tap the little finger. It's okay for me to feel at peace. Tap the side of the hand and breathe to feel aligned. Tapping the top of the head. I give myself permission to own my state. What does that mean? To own my state of being, regardless of outside circumstances. I still get to be happy. So check it out. Are you waiting for things to change out there before you decide to react and respond emotionally? Did you know that you can precede a situation with your emotional body and help form events, causing and creating reality by how you command your emotions? Tap the eyebrows. I give myself the possibility. Tapping the temples to honor the pain still left over. Big deep breath, tuning into this leftover unhappy feeling inside you. Tap the cheeks. Now we're going to talk about the part that sucks the most for you. Tapping under the nose. The part that really sucks about this is what? Say it out loud. Say it 3 times. Tapping under the lips. How do you feel about this? Do you feel betrayed, abandoned, outraged, ashamed? Tap the chest and breathe. Take 30 seconds and discuss how you're feeling about this part that sucks the most. Tapping down to the front of the ribs, I give myself permission to release this stored stress from my mind, my body, my DNA. Tap the side of the ribs. I give myself permission to release this remaining residue, to come back into my peace and my place of joy. Tap the inside of the wrist. It's safe for me to do this. Tap the side of the thumb. It's time for me to do this. Tap the index finger. I give myself permission to grow and to heal. Tap the middle finger. Returning to my center. Tap the bottom of the 4th finger and breathe. Tap the little finger. It's safe for me to do this. Tapping the side of the hand. Learning how to activate my energy. To honor my pain and feelings. Tap the top of the head. To trust my intuition. Tapping the side of the head, even if it creates change inside of me. Tap the eyebrows. It's safe for me to do this. Tapping the temples. I'm open to forgiving myself. Tap the cheeks for any remaining resistance. Tuning in one more time to this remaining resistance to moving through this old state. Tapping into the nose. Who would I be if I learned to let go like that? Who would I be if I burned it away? Tapping under the lips and breathing. Tapping down to the chest. Who would I be if I burned it away? What kind of possibility is there? Tapping down to the front of the ribs, I give myself permission to create new possibilities for myself. And breathe. Tapping the side of the ribs, I give myself permission to reconstruct myself. Tap the inside of the wrist, allowing myself to create something new here. So this is the place where we're going to rewire the neural networks that just got freed up. You see, we placed our loving attention in these neural networks and began to dissolve the stress and pain there. And now we're going to rewire. So choose for yourself what you'd like to experience in regards to this situation, tapping the side of the thumb. Think about that situation, this issue. Imagine things flowing in a good way. What would that look like? Tap your index finger, take 30 seconds and describe it. Keep breathing and tapping. Tap the middle finger, keep talking. What would that be like? Keep talking, tapping the bottom of the fourth finger. Tapping the little finger. It's safe for me to imagine. Tap the side of the hand. A new outcome for myself and for the others involved. A new outcome that feels clean, connected, inspired. Tapping the top of the head. Describe this new outcome again. In detail, what would it be like for them? Tapping the eyebrows. It's safe for me to do this. Tapping the temples. I'm learning how to hold this space for myself and for my world. Tapping the cheeks. We've suffered long enough. Tapping under the nose. I'm learning how to command a new reality. Tapping under the lips, using the vortex of my body, the energy of my heart and soul. Tapping the chest, releasing the genetic patterns of my ancestors, releasing this from my DNA, from my heart, and from my memory. Big deep breath, tapping down to the front of the ribs. Tapping the side of the ribs. It's time for me to do this. It's okay if I'm still learning how. Tap the inside of the wrist. I'm doing this for myself. Practicing. Tap the side of the thumb. I'm doing this for myself. Evolving. Tap the index finger and breathe. It's okay to update my nervous system. Tap the middle finger. To release old stored information. To reprogram myself to succeed here. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger. I give myself permission to activate this opportunity. Speak again of this possibility that you're creating. Tap for 30 seconds on your little fingers. Speak this possibility into reality. Tap the side of the hand. It's safe for me to do this. It's safe for all of us to do this. And breathe. Tapping the top of the head. It's time to allow this transformation inside my body. Tap the eyebrows, even if it means letting go of this old grudge. Tap the front of the cheeks. of this angst. Tapping under the nose. It's safe to release any remaining resistance to me taking back my power. Tap the chest. Parts of my ego that want to keep me small. Parts of my mind entrained for generations to limit my capacity. Tap the front of the ribs. It's safe for me to heal what happened. Big deep breath. I'm doing this. Tap the side of the ribs. For myself. Tapping the top of the head. I am doing this. For my ancestors. Tapping the eyebrows. I am doing this. Tapping the temples for all of us. Tapping the cheeks. I'm breathing. Connecting to this vision again. Tapping under the lips and down to the heart. Tuning in again. What is this vision that you're creating for yourself and for our world? Describe it out loud. Let yourself feel it. Accepting the emotions as they wave through you and flow. I am creating this new reality. Tapping down to the front of the ribs. This is my gift to myself. Tap the side of the ribs and to humanity. Tapping the inside of the wrist. It's natural for me to hold this space now. For myself. For my family. For my planet. Tap the side of the thumb and breathe. Tap the index finger. Imagine how many people this would affect and how they would feel. Describe who this would affect and how it would benefit more than just you. Tapping the middle finger. I give myself permission to maintain my vibration. Tap the bottom of the fourth finger, choosing balance and peace. Tap the little finger, bringing myself into power, into love. Tap the side of the hand, holding this space in my own life for the greater good of all. And breathe. How are you feeling? Now we're going to have a check-in to see how everyone's doing. If you're here live with me, put into the chat how intense your issue was at the beginning from 1 to 10, where you would rate it to be now, and what you're committed to. I would also love to know how you're feeling since you've been tapping. I'm going to read some of your chat. For those of you who are still in the middle of processing, feel free to keep tapping and breathing as your body integrates. You just moved so much, so quickly, and you might not be used to moving that much so quickly. Remember that you can use this tool anytime. I'm going to look at the chat and see how you're doing. Karina says, that was amazing. Corey says, that was so powerful. Jen says, so powerful. Maria, loved the visuals. So happy to see you all. Corey says, it was an 8 or a 9. It's now down to a 3 or a 4. Charlotte says, a 10 down to a 5, feeling more peaceful. Karina says, so empowered and aligned. Whitney says, a 10 down to a 4. That's more than halfway there. Japa, glad to see you, went from a 9 down to a 4. Riva, a 9 down to a 3, maybe less. Japa says, committing to love. Whitney says, I feel so peaceful. Penny says it was an 8, now it's a 4. Laura said a 6 or a 7, down to a 2 or a 3. Lucas says it was a 9, now I feel thoughtful, touched, more confident, and optimistic. Jorge says, I was at a 7, went down to a 3 on opening myself up to finding a place to live. Samuel, a 10 to a 2, feeling waves and waves of joy and peace. Kitty says, tingling, dizzy, lighter, down from a 10 to a 2. Stephanie says, I feel more relaxed, amazing, committed to my freedom, and living my creative dreams. Danny says, a 9 to a 1. I would love to buy the session later if it's available. Well, I am not selling these sessions. These are free. But I will store them in the members area of the World Tapping Circle to entice you to come tap with me each week. As a matter of fact, I have 2 more of these free Burning Man taps for you. One tomorrow, same time, same place, and one the next day. Tomorrow we will be talking about how to be unflappable and move forward without losing your freaking mind. And I have a special playa gift for you. For post-burn, because at Burning Man I usually do 5 sessions and I can only do 3 here because it took so much time and energy to put this together, I'm going to do 2 post-burn taps for this community in the World Tapping Circle, and those will also be free. Then you will have an experience of what we do each week, and hopefully you'll sign up and keep moving this movement forward and let me be your support and guide as you process every week in the Tapping Circle. I just want to say thank you one more time to the incredible tech team that put this together. Thank you, Magnus. Thank you, Austin. And thank you, beautiful Burning Man tribe, for inspiring me to do things that feel impossible, for giving me a reason to continue to refine and grow my gifts. I love you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.